So this is the template you have, and it's in InDesign because that's the sort of standard practice for graphic designers that create books. So you sort of develop your drawings in Photoshop and in Illustrator, but when it comes to like doing a sort of page layout, whether that is a website or an app or a book, you typically use InDesign. And there's lots of reasons why that is the case, and then you will sort of see that as I present it today. So the first thing you will see is it's very similar to Illustrator, as these sort of white boxes, but what is different is you see how this is moving from here to here. These are called pages. So we were kind of familiar in Illustrator dealing with sort of art boards. So those white boxes were called art boards, and they could be in any size. These are called pages. And I have already established that these pages are 11 by 17, horizontal, exactly how you would want to print them out. I have made this little color block here. Feel free to change the color or the design of everything. And each page has a label of what the drawing is on that page. There is some type up here so you can title your project. Yes, you need to title your project. You know, all the case studies you studied had titles, they had names. You get to name your project too. Find inspiration. And then you click in here and you modify your name. Again, feel free to change all the colors. So the sort of key to getting started with this is to have all your drawings located in one area. Here I have the axon drawing, a diagram project, elevations, interior renderings, plans, precedents, section. So these are all the drawings that are due next week. There are sort of two ways that you can place something. So with this template, the ideal strategy will be all I have to do is drop stuff in, right? That's the sort of idea, is that you don't have to do too much work moving stuff around. So there is a layer tab. If you can't find it, it's under Windows and Layers. It is also these two pieces of paper icon over here. And I've highlighted the image tab. That's where all your images can go. So in order to import an image, so this is my exterior rendering, I can go File, Place. My exterior rendering was the test rendering. Hit Open, click. So right away, it is placed on that sheet. I can make it larger just the same way I would in Illustrator, transforming it, pulling it at the corners. But I just pulled that frame larger, but the picture is not larger. So again, this is a command that's specific for InDesign. So whenever you make something larger, you have to right click and change the fitting. So typically you will want to fill frame proportionally, because otherwise it will just be all over the place. So the reason, I'm actually gonna go down here and I have this in the wrong place. The reason that this is a good way to work is because you can now edit this Photoshop document and it will update in this InDesign file. So I'm gonna roll down here and place the interior rendering. File, place, interior rendering, open. So here's my interior rendering. It's done, it's great, it's amazing. The difference between this is that this is a JPEG and this is a PSD. The PSD is that Photoshop file that we were messing with. So the brilliance of this and why it's used so much is because you can update this PSD, hit save, go over to InDesign, under your links, it will automatically tell you that this photo was updated. And all you have to do is double click and it will update. So that's why this is a good way to work. You can sort of see why graphic designers use this. That means someone else can be creating images, someone else could be in charge of images, someone else might be in this document writing text, another person might be making like graphic changes to the pages. So that's why InDesign is a really powerful tool. So what I recommend you do, but of course you don't have to, is to sort of use this as a template to load all your drawings into. So for example, with case study 1, what I recommend doing is going to your drawings, going and finding my case studies. What is it? Diagram project? No. Axon, elevations, plans, precedent. So this is a precedent, let's say. You could place this Illustrator file in. You could also just go in here, grab everything, Control C, Control V, and it will be right here. Please note that when you paste in a bunch of images, it will always like be sort of grouped together, but you can right click, fitting, fill frame proportionally. So copy and pasting does work. If I went down here and placed, let's say, my diagrams, file, place, diagram project, this will come in as the first PDF period. So it's not really great. This person's first page was this PDF, but this isn't the diagram I wanted. I wanted to place like this drawing, let's say. So placing PDFs isn't great, but if you open it with like Illustrator, you could, well, if you open the proper file in Illustrator, you could like copy and paste that in. Does that make sense? So you don't want to work from your PDFs. You want to work from your Illustrator files. You can copy and paste from Illustrator into InDesign. I recommend typically grabbing like one image at a time, Control C, and then placing it. The same thing that might be true about your drawings as your Photoshop, right? These drawings are something that will update for the remainder of the semester. So you might, I think it's pretty beneficial to just go ahead and link the Illustrator file. So in order to do that, you just file, place, I'm looking for my plan, so place the plan, open. Okay. It's the wrong scale. But okay. There. I don't know what I did. But there you go. There's my plan. And so again, every time this upgrades, this drawing will have a link next to it and I can just upgrade it. You want to make sure all your individual drawings are labeled, so that's what this text here is for. As you can sort of see, this doesn't work so well. Sometimes you can feel free to like move these up and down or change them. This is not like the rule. This is a guideline for a good way to present things. I'll just demonstrate it again. File, place, Axon, open. There you go. One of the things that you will start to notice is that this is kind of a terrible line quality. It might be the same is true for your pictures. This is like a print preview. It's supposed to alleviate the pressure on your computer to graphically represent things. So if you are like, I don't understand, this looks like trash, you can go up to View, Overprint Preview, and it will clean up. This is a heavier way to work. Ergo, your computer will probably start fan on and possibly exploding. Probably not for this, but you can totally see if you had like a 300-page book where this might be a problem. So after you've placed all this stuff, you're gonna just save your document, right? But the important thing to know is that you've linked a bunch of stuff. And unless you are strategically saving all the things, which you probably are not, you could open this document up again and none of your links will be linked because you have sort of shifted in between computers. So the last step that you want to do is called packaging. So every time you finish working on this, you want to make sure this is packaged. You go to File, Package. It will tell you what it's packaging. Here it's packaging 6 links, but if you had fancy fancy fonts, it would package that. 2 fonts are being used, so it'll package that. It'll package the colors, and then you hit package, whatever, save it. Okay, this all looks great. The folder name, template, fantastic. Package. Uh-oh. This is gonna have an insane name. Okay. And now if you go to this folder, terribly named, but. So this is what it just created. So this is the document. Who is looking at their phone? If you lose this, this is not my fault. No sympathy. Final presentation template folder. This is what you drag and keep as your file. Because if you click in here, you have your file presentation template, your InDesign file. You even have an old version. So you all, some of you know Rhino 5 to Rhino 6 has been problematic. This IDML file, if you have like InDesign 2014 on your laptop or something, this IDML will open that. So it does a PDF version of your presentation. And then it has these 2 folders, document fonts, which these are boring fonts, Arial, nothing to write home about. But what is very important is it has the links. So it has copied all the drawings that you have linked into this folder and organized it nicely. So the next time you open this folder, this file, it will automatically link to all those files. So you can continue to very, very responsibly work in this folder structure. It's pretty unrealistic to do that though. I just recommend packaging it every single time. Any questions?